You've been pretty selfish at this point your whole entire career. What have you done for a lot of fighters? This would be a powerful statement for you to join. So stop it. Stop running. Stop hiding. Stop being selfish. We need all the help we can get in making this union. Conor McGregor, that's the message.
Jake Paul, the self-anointed king of cringe and unapologetic self-promotion, unleashed yet another headline-grabbing announcement on December 29, 2024. Through Instagram, he revealed his upcoming opponent, none other than Conor McGregor. Yes, Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned wannabe boxer, thinks he's on the brink of rewriting sports history. In truth, all he's really doing is dragging boxing's already shaky credibility further into the gutter with yet another circus-style event masquerading as a fight.
Conor, you're saying the interest is low for the fight.
The interest is low and I don't know. I don't understand.
Let's take a second to absorb just how ridiculous this matchup truly is. On one side, you have Jake Paul, a man whose so-called boxing career survives solely because audiences can't resist tuning in to see him humiliate himself.
Ducking of professional boxers. The next fight could potentially be a professional boxer. I'm just getting started. I'm 26 years old and there's only so much I can do.
A professional boxer? Really? We're talking about the same guy who padded an 11-1 record by knocking out a lineup of retired MMA fighters. Somehow, Jake Paul managed to convince himself and alarmingly, a slice of the public, that he's a real athlete. His proudest accomplishment? Beating Anderson Silva, a legend who was practically old enough for AARP membership by then. And let's not skip over his recent win over a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, who probably spent more time promoting his cannabis line than training for that fight. Truly groundbreaking stuff there, Jake, absolutely revolutionary.
In terms of like face-off views, this is, in my mind, the biggest fight the world will ever see.
They know that it's just like hard to handle for them because they've been like in the spotlight.
And now we bring in Conor McGregor, once the UFC's brightest star, now more of a walking whiskey advertisement than an active fighter. Sure, McGregor was a two-division UFC champion, but that feels like a lifetime ago. His fighting career flatlined back in 2017, when Floyd Mayweather toyed with him for 10 rounds in a boxing ring before mercifully ending the act. Since then, Conor's time as a fighter has been about as reliable as Jake Paul's humility, essentially non-existent. Between promoting Proper 12 whiskey and posting thirst traps on Instagram, he's been more focused on selling liquor than throwing punches. His last unforgettable moment in combat sports? Shattering his leg in 2021. And now we're expected to believe he's going to stroll into a boxing ring and trade blows with the internet's biggest troll? Right. Let's call this what it is, a money grab of historic proportions. While the media spins it as the fight of the century, what they really mean is the cash grab of the century. Reports claim this spectacle could pull in a staggering $250 million, $250 million, for a YouTuber and a semi-retired MMA star to play pretend for a handful of rounds. Forget about skill. Forget about legacy. Forget about meaningful competition. This is all about who can stir the most drama and sell the most pay-per-views. Boxing's new slogan might as well be, why fight for honor when you can fight for clicks?
In insane shape.
Man, I wish Conor wasn't doing these types of...
And let's not ignore the man pulling the strings behind this entire circus, Indian billionaire Anand Ambani, bankrolling the event as part of a tourism push to promote India. Because when you hear Visit India, the first thing you picture is two rich men flailing at each other in a jam-packed stadium, right? The fight is booked for Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium, which holds 33,000 people but will mainly cater to millions of pay-per-view buyers, otherwise known as suckers. Then there's the endless pre-fight drama, which feels like a painfully bad reality show. Jake Paul has been targeting McGregor for years, throwing tantrums and trolling him online like an overgrown child denied dessert. From over-the-top trash talk to cringeworthy videos, Jake has tried every stunt short of showing up at McGregor's doorstep with a megaphone. And McGregor? Instead of simply ignoring Jake like the rest of the world should, he fell right into the trap. Now we're stuck watching two grown men turn boxing into a parody of itself. This fight isn't about proving skill or respecting the sport, it's about Jake Paul feeding his inflated ego while chasing yet another massive payday. And McGregor? He's probably just relieved he doesn't have to step into the octagon with a hungry UFC contender who could actually flatten him. Instead, he cashes in on a lucrative sparring session with a YouTuber who treats boxing gloves like fashion accessories. Jake Paul, of course, swears he's taking this fight seriously, because of course he does. The guy can't even post an Instagram story without bragging about how hard he's training, as if 15 seconds of speedbag footage wipes out years of being a glorified internet clown. Supposedly, he's been back in camp since early January 2025, focusing on speed and agility. Sounds impressive on paper, right? Except it's still Jake Paul we're talking about. The same guy who thinks workout montages automatically make him the next Muhammad Ali. Sure, he's got BJ Flores, a legitimate boxing trainer, in his corner, but let's stay grounded. A solid coach doesn't magically turn Jake into a real fighter. His greatest talent? Fooling people into believing he's a genuine athlete while strategically avoiding anyone who could actually expose him as a fraud. And then there's Conor McGregor, attempting a comeback that borders on miraculous after snapping his leg like a cheap pencil in 2021. To his credit, McGregor knows how to grind. He spent years rehabbing and is now trying to adapt his MMA instincts to boxing rules. Admirable? Sure. But let's be honest, his last serious attempt at boxing was back in 2017. You remember that fight where Floyd Mayweather played with him for 10 rounds before ending the farce. McGregor has been out of the boxing ring for years, and while his determination is commendable, the real question is whether his body can keep up with his ambitions. He's still got heart, no doubt, but does he still have the legs or the durability to back it up? Physically, these two are an awkward matchup. Jake Paul stands at 6 feet 1 inch and tips the scales around 190 pounds, giving him a clear size advantage. But let's not mistake size for skill. Jake's height and weight have only helped him dominate retired MMA fighters and washed-up celebrities, not someone like McGregor, who has faced legitimate killers in the UFC. McGregor, standing at 5 feet 9 inches and weighing about 170 pounds, might be smaller, but he's battled opponents who actually knew how to fight. Jake's toughest rivals so far? A nearly 60-year-old Mike Tyson, who probably spent more time brainstorming cannabis products than preparing for punches. Let that sink in. Then there's the betting scene. Jake Paul is actually favored to win at minus 175. With McGregor sitting as the underdog at plus 155. Yes, you read that correctly, the YouTuber turned boxer is favored over Conor freaking McGregor. If that doesn't make you question the state of boxing, nothing will. Sure, Jake is younger and has the size advantage, but let's be honest, his entire career has been built on hand-picked opponents who are either too old, too small, or too irrelevant to pose a real threat. And the so-called experts? Paulie Malignaggi, never one to shy away from an outrageous take, claims Jake Paul might actually knock out McGregor. Yes, the same Jake Paul who made his name through prank videos is now being hyped as a potential KO artist against one of MMA's most iconic fighters. If that doesn't make you cringe, nothing will. Meanwhile, former UFC champ Eddie Alvarez pointed out the massive logistical headache McGregor faces just to make this fight possible. UFC contracts are notoriously ironclad, and Dana White isn't exactly the type of guy to let his fighters chase clout with a YouTuber. And the fans? As always, they're split. Jake's supporters are hyping this up as the moment he proves he's the real deal, while McGregor's diehards are simply praying to see Jake served a long overdue slice of humble pie. Then there's the rest of us, rolling our eyes at what is clearly a glorified money grab. Let's be real, this fight isn't happening because it makes sense from a sporting perspective. It's happening because it's going to generate an obscene amount of cash. This is the ultimate spectacle. Jake Paul gets to stroke his ego while pretending to be a legitimate fighter. McGregor walks away with a fat paycheck without risking another leg-snapping UFC war. And the rest of us? We get to watch boxing sink even further into the realm of reality TV. Whether Jake wins or McGregor manages a comeback, the only true winner here is the money. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about sport, it's about selling as much drama as possible. And if there's one thing these two know how to do, it's sell.
What do you think about Conor tweeting still at like 3 a.m. like coked out?
He sent shots at me and Ryan talking shit. It's crazy coming from Conor, who literally got out of the USADA pool to do legit steroids. And I was the biggest Conor fan for a long time. In the last couple weeks, ever since he sent that, I've been trying to hate him. I've been trying to be like, fuck you, Conor. I can't. I love him.
If you enjoyed the fight, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more knockout content only on Knuckle Forge.